Fei will record it.
Okay, right. So 2 presenters will be presenting live and the other 2 will be presenting their recorded presentations. Right. 15 minutes to the presenters who will be presenting live. 15 minutes are given to you and 5 minutes will be reminded to you before your presentation ends. Okay. Like the morning session, the Q&A will be at the end of the session after all presenters have presented.
Good.
Without further ado, let me call the first presenter, Datin Haja Mahida binti Abdul Wahab from IUKL, to present her paper entitled The Relationship Between Principals, Instructional Leadership and School Performance of Rural Public Secondary Schools in Malaysia. Please welcome.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. I say good evening. Okay, I'll go straight. I'm sharing screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's this one. Share. Correct?
Yes.
Everyone getting this, yeah? Okay. Okay. Yeah. The topic is the relationship between principals, instructional leadership, and school performance of rural public secondary schools in Malaysia. One of the 5 system aspirations for the Malaysian education system is the equity. The main agenda of the Malaysian Education Blueprint 2013-2025 is making it half, or 50% reduction in achievement gaps between urban schools and rural schools. The international and local evidence clearly show that strong school leadership is required to produce significant improvement in student achievement, hence school performance. Principals are more than just administrative leaders. They are instructional leaders who focus on improving quality of teaching and learning in their schools. School leadership among teachers and administrators have been considered a driving force for student achievement and educational reform. Okay, so the purpose of this study is this. Okay, to look into the correlation between principals' instructional leadership and rural public secondary schools' performance in Malaysia. My limitation, my study, my scope is limited to Peninsular Malaysia. I'm not working on Sabah and Sarawak. So from the north, is Perlis, south is Johor, central is Pahang, east is Kelantan, and west is Melaka. So I'm working on the principal instructional leadership, and I'm measuring using Principal Instructional Management Rating Scale, or PIMRS. So Principal Instructional Leadership, hence the short form is PIL. So now in my screen, it's unknown. Okay, and the average school grade, or the grade per rata sekolah, or the GPS, the short form is GPS. You can see on my screen, it's unknown. Okay, would be the SPM results for the year 2018 used as school performance. But I am looking at only rural public secondary schools. Okay, so now if you look at the screen too, because my papers or my respondents came from the year 2018, so the national average grade was 4.89. Yeah, that was the national average grade. 2019, it is 4.70. Okay, it went down further, 4.7. Okay, now if you look at the table, you can see that urban average grade and rural average grade are different. Okay, so there is an achievement gap. You can very well look at this. But this is from 2017, comparing 2017 and 2018. I can show you 2018 and 2019. There's still the gap. The red color is urban, okay, and then the blue is rural. So we need to close the gap. Okay, we need to close the gap. The national average grade, it has gone down over the years. So it was 2019 for 4.86 in 2019. But we are more interested in 4.89 for 2019. So my research questions, okay, would be, what is the level of principal instructional leadership for rural public secondary schools? What is their level? And what is the level, for my research question 2, what is the level of school performance of rural public secondary schools? Research question 3, is there a significant relationship between principal instructional leadership and school performance of rural public secondary schools? Research question 4, which dimension in the PIMRS, okay, that contributes significantly towards school performance of rural public secondary schools? So my methodology is, I'm using descriptive survey, research design, quantitative research, stratified random sampling used. I'm also using, I'm sending by mail, letters by mail. Survey instrument, like I said just now, Principal Instructional Management Rating Scale, much used internationally and locally. And it contains 2 parts. One is demographic information, and the second one is the Principal Instructional Leadership dimensions. The procedure would be, data collected, I would use SPSS, and I'm also using regression analysis. So there will be, the data will be in 3 forms: demographic information, okay, the data analysis, and the inferential analysis. The statistical treatment would be, I'm using a Spearman rule, so it would derive the interrelation between the variables, but the correlation research methodology used would clarify the relationship between principal instructional leadership and school performance of rural public secondary schools. So my findings, okay, my findings. What is the level of principal instructional leadership for rural public secondary schools? They are high. Overall, the principals for rural schools practice high level. The mean score was 4.023. And all the other dimensions are also high. Okay? But defining school mission shows higher level than managing instructional program and creating positive school climate. Meaning, because I'm a school teacher myself. I'm a school teacher myself in the secondary school. So principal, but I'm not a principal. So principal at the beginning of the year would always do the defining school mission. Okay, we're going to start school. We're going to give a lot of module. We're going to give students a lot of extra classes. We are going to meet the target. Okay, we are going to meet the target. That is always their mission. Okay, so that is why defining school mission shows high. Okay, not managing instructional program. Okay, creating is in between them. Now, to answer research question 2, what is the level of school performance of rural public secondary schools? It's so sad. Okay, rural public secondary school SPM 2018, 100% of the rural schools performed below the national average score expected, which was 4.89. And it was unsatisfactory because the overall score was 5.40, beyond the target. So it means that it did not meet the expected target, not even close. Meaning the achievement gap was not even half. Okay, but it is going down slowly. It is going down slowly. Yeah. And then to answer research question 3, is there a significant relationship between principal instructional leadership and school performance of rural public secondary school? The correlation test was conducted. Pearson correlation and significant two-tail were evaluated to show the relationship involved. And my null hypothesis is there is no significant relationship correlated with principal's instructional leadership with school performance. It has nothing to do. Principal instructional leadership has nothing to do with school performance, you know. But the correlation table indicates that the correlation value was a negative 0.266. And we thought that it was a weak linear relationship, indicating that the R positive, if the value of R is positive, and approaches 1, the value of R suggests that the points are grouped together in a line that slopes positively. But we must remember, the GPS is the smaller the number, the better the school performance. Okay, so the correlation table, what we got, indicates that there is a significant negative relationship, okay, between principal instructional leadership and the GPS. R, yes, R a negative 0.266. Okay, it's very significant. But that indicates that the increase in principal instructional leadership would lead to a better in the GPS score. The smaller the GPS value, the better the school perform. Thus, my null hypothesis is rejected. And then to answer the research question 4, to know which dimension of principal instructional leadership contributes significantly to a school performance of rural public secondary schools. So my model summary shows multiple regression between the variables, and the model summary indicates that R is 0.519, R square is 0.423, adjusted R square is 0.418. So meaning that 42% of the change in variance in school performance was jointly explained by principal instructional leadership. Principal instructional leadership makes 42% school performance. Okay? And in the ANOVA, if the result from the ANOVA, F equals to 69.201, very significant, that there is a significant contribution by principal instructional leadership towards school performance. Yes, you principals, you are doing something, you are practicing something, you are contributing to school performance. The independent, so if you look at the correlation, okay, the independent variable for PIL, the probability or T statistic is 9.8. Okay, 9.8. T is 9.8. For beta coefficient, that is 0.000, meaning it is equal to the level significance of 0.05. Okay, so the results of, so this can be concluded that there is a statistically significant relationship between principal instructional leadership and school performance. Yes, principals, you're playing your part. Yes, principals, you are contributing to school performance. Yes, principals, you are helping rural schools. Okay, but the results of the analysis also show that both independent variables they are significantly correlated to school performance. And if you look at it, managing instructional program, it's 0.2. Beta weight is 0.249. T is 3.424, and it's during significant. So we are saying that managing instructional program made the largest contribution to school performance. Then comes developing school learning climate, and the smallest contributor, the defining school mission, that much earlier, beginning of the year, principal would always practice this, indicate no significant contribution at all. So, this is my conclusion. I'm giving you the map, the distribution of principal instructional leadership and school performance for rural public school, secondary schools in Malaysia. From the north, the PIL, it's 3.883, quite high, but the school performance is very bad, 5.76. Okay, and down south, I got the screen covering me. Down south, Johor, PIL is very good. It's also about similar to the north. Principal instruction is practicing 3.904, but the school performance is 5.375. And then after that is Pahang. Okay, PIL is 4.4042, and the GPS is 5.7048. Melaka, it's 4.21. GPS is 5.69, and the best is Kelantan. Okay, PIL is 4.095. The GPS is 5.145. I mean, for rural school lah. So, if we are going to close the academic gap, if we are going to meet the blueprint, if we are going to answer the blueprint, what is the predicted dimensions that significantly make contribution to the rural school performance? It is the managing instructional program. What can principal do? Supervise, evaluate instruction, get into class, See how teachers are teaching. See how classes are conducted. Okay, conducting coordinating a curriculum. Do not make suddenly there's a call for assembly, taking the students out of the class. Okay, you are disrupting instructional program and monitoring student progress. Pat on the student, say you're good. Pat on the teachers, you're good, because this would contribute to school performance. That is my study. Thank you. That's all for me.
Thank you, Datin.
Mm,
Very interesting presentation.
thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, dear.
Okay, right. We now proceed to the recorded presentation of Mr. I'm not so sure, but Miss Zhao Jing, also from IUKL. The title of the paper is The Impact of Tertiary EFL Teachers' Professional Identity on Job Burnout in Hubei Province in China. Let's take a look at the recorded presentation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The topic of my presentation is the impact of tertiary EFL teachers' professional identity on job burnout in Hubei province in China. And my presentation today will include 6 parts, namely the introduction, literature review, research design, research results, and also my discussions, conclusions, and recommendations. In the first part, I will introduce the background of my research. First, I talk about the importance of English teaching, and EFL teachers in China. Tertiary EFL teachers in China are the main force of the implementation of English teaching, English reform, and actually they face great pressure in their work. And also the study of teacher job burnout began to rise during the 21st century in China. So my paper would review researches on the relationship of tertiary EFL teachers' professional identity and job burnout in order to provide useful enlightenment to alleviate their job burnout and promote their professional development.